But trust me, once you try it, it will feel just like Tailwind did the first time you used it. So I just freaking hate dealing with dynamic classes in Vue. I have one of those 8-bit brains that can't really hold too much information at once, and dealing with dynamic classes requires just that. The way we usually process this kind of stuff is, we start by reading and remembering all the classes on the left side. We then mentally process whatever happens on the right side, and if the result on the right side is true, then the classes will be applied. But of course, by now, I already forgotten what the classes were, so I have to go back and read them again. This obviously sucks, but fortunately, we can do better, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. At first, it won't feel right, but if you'll actually try it, it will forever change the way you're dealing with dynamic classes. So the component we have here is used to create different button variants. We have a primary, secondary, danger, and text button. But anyway, this doesn't really matter. I just have them here to make sure we don't break anything as we make changes. Let's focus on the classes. Now, our programming brain is very used to the if-then-else statement. It's basically what we do all day. So it would be great if we could convert this into something like that. And we can by using an array instead of an object. So I'll turn this into an array. And then we can basically flip these into regular if-then-else statements. So I'll grab this, move it here. So if props intent equals text, then we'll have text gray for 100. Otherwise, we'll have an empty string. And we'll basically do the same for all the others. And let's speed this up to save some time. We now have the exact same thing, but it's way easier to read as we know the conditions up front. Also, since the else part of the expression doesn't return anything, we can remove it and replace the question mark with end. This also works and is a bit shorter. Let's do the same for all the others. So I'll select these, remove them, select the question marks, and replace them with end. Save, refresh, and there we go. This is better, and sometimes I do it this way, but when dealing with many different conditions and classes, I reach out to a library called Class Variance Authority. I have no idea why it's named like that, but I freaking love it. It's a small library, basically a function, and what it does is, it allows you to define stuff like this, but in a way that's more readable and easier to understand. The way it works is, you import the CVA function, you call it by giving it a list of default classes. These are classes that will always be applied. And then you can define simple variants where you have a name and a list of possible values, each value having a list of classes that should be applied. Then you also have compound variants where you can define objects whose key value pairs represent a variant and its value. And this allows us to apply classes based on different combinations of variants. Finally, you have default variants. And this, of course, allows you to set default variant values if they are not provided. So let's pull this library in and see how it works. I'll open my terminal and do npm install class variance authority. Let's go ahead and import the CVA function. So I'll do import CVA from class variance authority. Then down here we'll do const button class, and this will be a computed property because we want to cache the result of the CVA function. So we'll do return CVA, we'll give it a list of default classes which we can grab from here, and then an object with variants, compound variants, and this is an array, and default variants, which is an object. Now the return of the CVA function is another function, which we'll need to call by passing it an object with our variants and their values. In our case, as variants, we have disabled and intent. So here we'll do disabled, and this is equal to props.disabled, and then we'll do intent. Now let's grab this button class and put it here. Let's remove this unused class attribute and start moving all these expressions into the new CVA definition. For the first one, since we only have one condition, this means we're dealing with a simple variant. So let's grab this, go here, and we'll have intent as the variant name. And when intent is equal to text, then we'll want to apply text gray 400. Moving on, here we have two conditionals, meaning that we are dealing with a compound variant. So let's grab this, go to the compound variants, create a new object, and this will translate to intent is primary and disabled is false. Then the classes that should be applied are these ones. So let's grab them, paste them in, save, and we have the same result. Moving on, this one is a little bit trickier, because when I say intent is not equal to text, what I actually mean is intent can either be secondary, danger, or primary. Now, instead of defining compound variants for every one of them, CVA allows us to use an array of possible values. So let's grab this. I'll go to the compound variants and create a single variant. And here we'll have intent, array, and intent can either be primary, secondary, or danger. And of course we also have disabled, which should be true, such that the following classes are applied. So I'll grab this, paste it here, save, refresh, and we still have the same thing. Let's continue with the next one. This is also a compound variant because it has two conditions. I'll grab it. Let's go here, add another one. And we'll have intent, secondary, and disabled is false. Then the classes will be these ones. And we have the next one. Here we have when intent is text and disabled is false, then apply these classes. Two more. This is also a compound one. We have intent danger and disabled is false. Then apply these classes. And finally, I think we have one more. When props is disabled, cursor is not allowed. So this one is a simple variant, so we'll go here. And we have disabled. And when disabled is true, then apply cursor not allowed. I'll save this, go back down here and replace this array with button class. Save, refresh, and there we go. As for the default variants, you can either specify them here, so you can do something like intent, primary, or you can do like I did and set default values for your props. So since I already did this, I can go here and remove this part. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are a bit confused, like, hey, this looks like way too much work. You said you had like an 8-bit brain or something. What's with this long-ass definition? Well, you're right, this seems quite complex and difficult to write. But trust me, once you try it, it will feel just like Tailwind did the first time you used it. It will be weird, possibly a bit confusing, but you'll grow to love it and it will forever change the way you write dynamic classes in Vue. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it, subscribe, click the bell button, all that good stuff. Bye!